For 5 months, everyone who walked into Cedar Creek Animal Shelter said the same thing about the enormous black dog in Kennel 9. Beautiful animal, but something is wrong with him. He never barked, he never came when they called, he just watched, hesitated, and turned away. And the staff had stopped expecting anything from Jasper at all. Then, one gray afternoon, a volunteer was leading him across the lobby when the 180-pound Cane Corso stopped dead and refused to move. In front of him, half hidden behind her mother, stood a little girl in a yellow coat who had not made a single sound since she walked in. 2 pulls on the leash, and Jasper did not budge. He was staring at the one thing no one else in that room had noticed: her hands. To understand it, you have to go back 5 months. Jasper was dropped off by a neighbor with a single sheet of paper, 3 short lines, a name, and an age. Nothing else. The staff took one look at the striking 180-pound black Cane Corso with his glossy coat and calm amber eyes and figured he would be gone within the week. He wasn't. Families stopped at Kennel 9 every weekend because a dog like Jasper stops people. They called his name, held treats against the gate, and every time Jasper looked at them, hesitated, and turned to the back wall, and they moved on. By the 5th month, Cedar Creek was full, and a dog with no offers in 5 months meant a transfer to a sanctuary 3 hours north. Not a cruel place, but everyone in rescue knows what it means. Those dogs stop getting viewings. They stop being seen. So a transfer notice went up on Kennel 9 with a date, and a van was scheduled for that week. And that was how things stood the Tuesday morning a woman named Erin walked in with her daughter and told the front desk they were only there to look. She had not come to adopt. She said the word looking the way you say it when you only half believe it. Her daughter Ellie was 7 years old, small for her age, and had never once spoken, not a single word in her whole life. She spoke with her hands instead, in sign, fast and bright when she was happy, careful when she needed to be understood. But around strangers, in loud places, even her hands went quiet. And a shelter lobby is a loud place. A bark barking in the back, a phone ringing, a cart of blankets rattling past the desk. Ellie stopped signing in the middle of a sentence, stepped behind her mother's leg, and went completely still, eyes down, hands down. Erin gave the woman at the desk the apologetic look she had given 100 times and put a hand on Ellie's shoulder to steer her toward the door. I know you're still watching but haven't subscribed yet, and after a dog like Jasper, that stings a little. Tap subscribe. Everyone thought this one was broken, and subscribing is how the world finds out what he really was. And that was the exact moment a volunteer came through the side hallway with Jasper on a slip leash, in from the yard. She made it halfway. Jasper's massive head swung sideways, not toward the barking, not toward the cart, but toward the small girl pressed against her mother's leg, toward 2 small hands hanging silent at her sides. He stopped, sat down in the middle of the floor, and planted 180 pounds of himself, his amber eyes fixed on Ellie's hands, as if the rest of the room had been switched off. Erin saw the enormous dog staring at her daughter and stepped between them, and then Ellie did something she had never done in a strange place. She stepped out from behind her mother, looked at the huge black dog, and slowly lifted one hand. She signed, "Hello." And Jasper answered. His ears swung forward, his whole body shifted toward her, and he raised one enormous paw and held it out toward her. And nobody had asked him to. Now he sat with a paw lifted toward a 7-year-old, like a hand offered across a table. Ellie looked at him a long moment. Then she signed, "Sit." And Jasper hesitated, his eyes moving from her hands to her face and back. And then he sat, slowly, as if the word had reached him from very far away, in a language he had not heard in a long time, but had never forgotten. The manager, a man named Ray, stepped out of his office and did not say a word. They moved the 3 of them into the visiting room, and Ellie signed, "Stay." And Jasper held it while she walked a slow circle around him, and the volunteer filmed it. But the first thing people do with a miracle is try to prove it is not one. Back at the kennels, the staff copied Ellie's hand shapes, waved, held out treats. Ray made the sign for sit 3 times, and Jasper looked straight past his hand and turned to the wall. Whatever had opened in that lobby had closed again. The kid got lucky, Ray said, not unkindly. He had run that shelter for 12 years and watched plenty of people fall in love with a coincidence. Erin heard that word from across the lobby, and something in her face went quiet. Ellie had reached for the world before, and the world had shrugged, and Erin was not going to watch her daughter's heart break over a dog they were about to send away. She took Ellie's hand and turned for the door. And as they walked out, Jasper, back in Kennel 9 at the end of the row, did something that stopped every person in the building. He barked, once, a single deep bark that rolled down the concrete like a dropped plate. The staff turned and stared at one another because in 5 months, none of them had ever heard his voice. The dog who only answered hands had finally made a sound at the exact moment the hands were walking out the door. That night, the video traveled from phone to phone until it reached the one volunteer who had never met Jasper. Her name was Camila. She was 24 and she was deaf. Her shifts had never overlapped with his viewings. She watched it 4 times, then drove in on her day off. She knelt in front of Kennel 9, waited until Jasper's eyes found hers, and began to sign. "Hello, good dog, come." And Jasper came off the back wall for the first time in months, crossed his kennel and pressed against the gate, ears forward, answering sign after sign, while the staff stood behind her in silence. "He does not read motion," Camila told them. "He reads meaning. Someone taught this dog a language." And some of what Jasper answered was not textbook sign at all, small invented gestures that come from no classroom, but from 2 beings living alone and building the words they need. Home signs, and those he answered fastest. So Camila went looking, and the story came together. Jasper's owner, a deaf man named Walter, had raised him from 8 weeks old, alone on a small property, entirely in sign. Sit and stay and come, yes, but also dinner and good boy and I am proud of you. A whole private language built across one man's kitchen and yard over 5 quiet years. Then a stroke, a care home that could not take a dog, and an animal who lost his entire world in a single afternoon and spent 5 months in a concrete kennel, surrounded by moving mouths, waiting for the one pair of hands that spoke his language. When the shelter called Erin that Wednesday evening, she almost did not answer, and her replies were short, right up until Camila's message was read to her. We found out why he understood her. He was raised by someone like Ellie. Erin went quiet a long moment, looking toward her daughter's room. Then she said they would come Thursday. Jasper knew before the front door had finished opening. The moment Ellie stepped into that lobby in her yellow coat, he was already up at the gate of Kennel 9, tail low and beating fast, his eyes on her hands from across the room. The same dog everyone had called broken, the same dog who had turned away from every hand for 5 months, the same 180-pound Cane Corso nobody at Cedar Creek had been able to reach now stood pressed to the front of his kennel, watching a little girl cross the room like she was the only thing in the world. In the visiting room, Ellie went through every sign she knew, and Jasper answered every one. And Erin stood against the wall and watched her daughter be understood, not eventually, not after patient explaining, but instantly, by a creature who had carried that language quietly the whole time. Ray watched from the doorway, and the man who said coincidence walked to his office and came out carrying the adoption folder and set it on the bench without a word. Ellie turned to her mother and lifted her hands. "He understands me." And Erin signed back, through tears, "Yes, yes, he does." When the van came that Friday, the driver stopped at Kennel 9, and Ray told him it had been empty since Thursday, smiling for the first time anyone could remember. In the new house, Jasper did not explore the way most dogs do. He simply followed Ellie, never more than a few feet from her side, and slept at the foot of her bed. And whenever Ellie signed across the room, his huge head moved with her hands, like a man reading a page. Then came the night that changed how Erin slept. Ellie woke from a bad dream around 2 in the morning, crying the way she always had, completely without sound, just tears and shaking, no way to call for her mother. Her whole life, she had never once been able to call out in the dark. That night, she did not have to. Jasper slipped off the bed, crossed the dark hallway, and pawed at Erin's door until it opened. From that night on, that door stayed open. In that house, Jasper became Ellie's voice. Camila kept visiting, and on one visit, she brought something she had tracked down through Walter's old neighbors, a home sign from Jasper's first life, a gesture that had only ever existed between one old man and his dog. She taught it to Ellie. And when Ellie made that sign, Jasper answered instantly, ears up, eyes bright, like hearing a word he thought had died with his old life. It had not died, it had been handed down. Every morning now, Ellie wakes, finds his amber eyes already on her, and signs, "Good morning." And Jasper answers, ears forward, paw lifted, the same look he first gave her hands across that crowded lobby. The dog who once slept with his back to a kennel door now sleeps at the foot of a little girl's bed. He was never broken. He was never stubborn. He was never the dog they all thought he was. He was a dog who had been spoken to in love his entire life, in a language made of hands, waiting in all that noise for someone who spoke it too. And a little girl who had never said a word in her life had finally, at last, been heard.